It's no secret that an early season cold front can produce a level of excitement that matches any rut-filled chase. Episode 3 showcased this in the form of Mike Reed's first time out magic when the river bottom monster lumbered by with plenty of daylight remaining. As the weather fronts move through and conditions stabilize, so do our expectations and strategies. Hunting the backside of the front that produced such great action for Mike, 375 miles to the southwest in central Kansas, team member Nolan Redeker is set up on a historically productive Oak Ridge.
Well, good morning, guys. It's finally breaking daylight this morning. I'm on my favorite Oak Ridge. If you guys have followed along for the last couple of years, you've recognized this spot. I'm excited about this morning since that cold front came in yesterday. It's not as chilly as it was supposed to be this morning, but it's still chilly, really light wind. I'm after a buck that I've decided to name Deuce. He's an awesome deer. I've had pictures of him for the past 3 years and seen him 2 years ago, and then last year when I was during doe season, he walked into 10 yards 2 different times after I'd already killed my buck, so probably would have shot him last year. I'm guessing he'd probably be a 5-year-old this year. Just a really big 8 with a split brow on one side. So he finally showed back on camera here about 2 weeks ago, and I think it was October 3rd or 4th. He was down on the bean field in daylight. If he comes up this way, I have a good feeling that he'll come by here. And then there's a couple other bucks that he was with. Hopefully I have some action up in here this morning.
Plenty of deer make their way through the oak flat, but Deuce isn't one of them. Enjoying the show, Nolan lets the deer work off, ending his morning hunt. That same morning, 385 miles to the northeast in Iowa, team member Matt Thede is also on stand, making an aggressive move, diving into the bedroom of his top target buck.
Hey, good morning, folks. October 8th here. First really major cold front in October here. We had one during youth season that got them up on their feet, but 30 degrees here this morning at most. We're tucked back in here in what we call the big timber. We have bedding to our northeast. We got a slight west wind, and this is really the area that I missed Little Louie last year, but we saw Tokyo in here. We've seen him 3 times the last couple years. This is where he likes to go. He's got that flyer kicking off in this year, so he's a really fun deer. Plus, you kind of never know what might show up back in here, but he loves this area. Can't pass up a morning to get out during 30 degrees, so really excited to hunt him, but just more importantly, just to get out and enjoy God's creation. So we're gonna just sit tight here for a little bit. It's gonna take a little bit probably for them to get back in here, but other than that, can't ask for a better morning. It is super calm, 30 degrees, about a 3 to 4 mile an hour wind, but we're pretty jacked up. Matt, don't move. just happened. All I could think about was this cold front. And this is exactly where Tokyo has been living his whole life. He came from the southeast, and he snuck in right behind us. All I could turn around to see him. And I looked and I saw the flyer. And it was him. He spotted us moving, and then took about 20 yards worth of jump, and I put it right on him. My strap was catching me. I couldn't quite get as far as I wanted. And I knew that he was gonna take off, and so I got it. He was slightly quartering away, so I mean, I'm mid-body forward for sure. I mean, it's a dead deer. He just didn't tip over like I was hoping he would right there, so. I don't know what to say. I mean, I just slowly I just got up and shot, that's all I know. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes.
After making the decision to give the buck some time, Matt and company returned to the farm to take up the trail.
Well, folks, we are about 8.5 hours past when we shot the deer, so brought 2 of our kids with us and get some extra set of eyes on here. But I think the biggest thing is like, yeah, I hope I find him, but I just don't want that deer to suffer whenever possible, and replay that in my mind. I got the shot off pretty quickly and thinking he was going to jump out of there, and obviously made a lethal hit, I think. But replaying that in my head, I wish I would have taken just a little bit more time and just moved that pin a little bit farther to the left, and I think we would have been fine and had a deer at home already. So that being said, those are all good lessons learned. I hope that somebody out there can possibly learn the same lesson at some points. But here we go. Let's go see if we can find it.
Nice work.
Oh man, what has he got?
He's so fat.
Yeah, that's a big buck. Look at that big man. Look at that. My gosh. Look at the velvet hanging off this flyer. Well, the chilly morning, 30-degree morning provided. Although I was joking around and this was a really quick hunt, we do have quite a bit of history with this buck that we call Tokyo. 2 years ago, Caleb and I were hunting in that very same area, except it was an opposite wind, and we sat on the opposite side of that little funnel. And a buck that we had camera pictures of, his brow tines really curved out at the time, and so we called him Tokyo, like they were radars. And we had a really good encounter, almost got a shot at him. We believed him to be 4 years old. At that point, he might have been 3. Fast forward to a year later, he was on the tops of the list, and Maddox and I actually had an encounter with him in November, but the very first sit in late October, he was the very first deer that I saw back in that area again. But we knew he made it through, and we knew exactly where he lived, and lo and behold, this buck showed up this year with a big flyer on his G2. And wasn't sure exactly what deer it was because he grew these eye guards and a flyer on there, and then I kind of studied the G3 and the shape of his brow tines, and sure enough, I compared photos from last year to this year, and it's definitely Tokyo. And man, he's got a heck of a left main beam on him, and he's probably 5 or 6. We don't know exactly the age on him yet. I have to look at the teeth, but couldn't be more delighted. Great team effort. Having Matt out here filming this morning, having the boys help find him, and of course my hunting partner Caleb, and all the encounters we've had with him, the landowner who lets us hunt. But yeah, what a story, what a buck. and so thankful to be sitting behind a buck we call Tokyo. So it's my job here to hop behind the camera and film a bunch of people here the rest of this year, but couldn't be more tickled and more pleased to be sitting behind this deer. So thanks for watching Outreach Outdoors on Midwest Whitetail.
Traditionally, morning hunts at this time of the year are more risk than reward, with most bucks making it back to their beds well before the sun rises. However, Matt Thede's decision to be aggressive shows that when the conditions are favorable, the odds can tip in a bow hunter's favor, if only for a day. Taking a more traditional approach, 35 miles to the south of Matt's property, Mike Reed is gearing up for another hunt, hoping lightning will strike twice.
It is the afternoon of October 8th, so after 5 o'clock, and Ryan and I are set up at the River Bottom Farm. We're in the South Plot. This is a spot I've shot Todd Gurley a few years back. It sets up, it's sort of the closest food source to the big bedding area, the big peninsula. We've got great weather right now here in Iowa. It's nice and cool. The high today is 61, and the pressure's really, really high, following that front that came through 2 nights ago. It's officially day 2 for me in my Iowa bow season. I hunted 2 nights ago for day 1. That was Thursday, October 6th, and had a short and sweet hunt, shot a great buck. We're super excited to start the season that way. I've never killed a deer on my first sit, and it's a great buck I've got 3 years of history with. Tonight, I'm primarily on a doe mission. My main buck with my remaining tag is going to be Kelsey, so I'm going to spend, the next, the rest of the season hunting him. He's been very active on the farm. I certainly could tag out pretty early this year, but in the past, we've not been able to do a good job managing does on the river bottom just because this county runs out of doe tags so fast. I use my landowner tags and we buy what we can buy, but this year, the neighboring farmer qualified and got depredation tags, and so we can use depredation tags to shoot does. And so my goal, I'd like to get at least 20 does down between the farms this year, and so Ryan and I have already got a great buck down, and we're not going to pass up on any good shots at does, so we're going to see what we can take off the farms this year for the purpose of management, and who knows, maybe we can get more than 20. And of course, as the rut approaches and the conditions are right, we'll hunt Kelsey. And then Rye's got his bow in the tree as well, so he's pretty happy to shoot those. And there's a few bucks out here that he's got the green light on that he's excited to let an arrow go on. So can't ask for a better start to the season. We've got about 2 hours to go tonight. Got out here a little late, and we had does in the plot. And then we've had 2 different does try to come out while we're setting up, so the deer are really on their feet. With 2 hours to go, I think we still have a good opportunity to get a couple down, so fingers crossed we can. Looking forward to the sit.
While Mike and Rye settle in waiting for an opportunity, 220 miles to the southwest back in northern Missouri, team member Corey Wolfe is again heading to the woods, this time with a camera in hand, hunting with his wife Monica.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's October the 8th, and we've got this freshly combined bean field out here, and we're gonna cut them off from their bedding on their way out to eat some beans. So let's go. So I've got corn in front of me right now, beans behind me, and acorns right out front. We've got this really nice oak tree that's been releasing all the acorns into this food plotted area. We've got 3 nice scrapes. I know there are does that frequent this area, but I'm also hoping to see some bucks tonight. So we'll see. Get ready to draw, and I was like, I can't, I'm shaking too bad. I was like, I just gotta wait, because I won't make a good shot if I go now. It's been so long. It's like 10 years.
I didn't even put the camera on.
Well, that was incredible. I saw that first buck, and I was like, oh, I wanna shoot so bad. And you're like, you'd be disappointed. And then I was like, I see another deer.
And I said, what? I said, that's a shooter. I'm shaking so bad.
After reviewing the footage, Monica and Corey determine the shot looks perfect, but rather than taking up the trail right away, the hunters decide to get down and head home to round up the troops. Back in eastern Iowa, Mike's plot is loading up with does.
That front one looks like she's got a long nose.
Unfortunately, the does stay out of bow range for Mike and Rye. Back in northern Missouri, the Wolfe family prepares to take up the trail.
Hi. How are you? Good. You got one. Oh, big buck. You can't hide that very well. I knew it.
That's right.
Hey,
She had a tail.
Mom got a big
She had a tail with a video camera. Alright, alright, so we're over right there. So look at the color. What do you know by the color?
Right. That one. Good here.
He's opening up a little bit.
There he is. Is that him?
Oh, look at that.
There's all the blood.
Shot. Look at that. That was a good shot, Monica.
It's bubbling. Good job, Mom. So the buck didn't go very far. He was about 70 yards from our stand. It was a really nice buck. I'm really excited. Had a good shot, and thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for the Missouri archery tag that my husband gifted me for our anniversary, and thanks to my mother-in-law for watching our new baby. He's 4 months old now, William, and just so excited to be out with my husband and have a great evening.
I don't know what just happened. All I could think about was this cold front. I don't know what to say. I mean, I just got up and shot. That's all I know. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Mike, you said, get ready to draw, and I was like, I can't, I'm shaking too bad. I was like, I just gotta wait, because I won't make a good shot if I go now.
My main buck with my remaining tag is going to be Kelsey, so I'm going to spend, I guess, the rest of the season hunting him. He's been very active on the farm. I certainly could tag out pretty early this year.
The early season can be a frustrating time for hunters as the bucks we chase frequent the shadows, waiting for the cover of darkness to make their rounds. Staying patient hunting on the fringes is still the safest approach during this stage, but given the continued string of great weather, sometimes towing the line isn't the best play in the book. Matt Thede's aggressive move on the giant mainframe 8 showcased this perfectly, ending his season as quickly as it began. Looking ahead, we must pick our shots wisely, careful to not fumble the ball before we even make it across the 50-yard line. As the days advance, a buck's daylight activity will increase, and so will our chances at putting together the perfect drive. With the greatest month of all still in the distance, all we can do is take it play by play, dreaming of the day when we will again be chasing November.